Hello guys, yes, welcome to another video. We're going to look at some 35mm film, which I shot in Italy. So, I never really showcased or really talked about it on the channel before about kind of my film photography. So I thought that might be a cool thing to do, just to throw up some comparisons between all the digital stuff I shot and some of the 35mm stuff I shot as well. And actually, by the end of the trip, or kind of, post everything, from getting the film developed and all that, some of my favourite shots came out of the rolls of film and not the digital stuff, which is quite surprising to me because it's kind of my first kind of full-on go of taking a film camera on a trip with me and shooting. I think it was about 6 or 7 rolls I shot over there. So that was a really nice kind of result at the end of the day, really, to kind of go out there and surprise yourself with shots you kind of haven't dived into as much on a photographer's perspective shooting film. So we're going to look at a few rolls. I've got some Ektar 100, some Cinestill, some more Ektar, some Porta as well, which I shot over the trip. So the same year, this was 2018, I bought the film camera early on. It was just such a, it was such a great way to introduce myself to the medium again. My brother was heavily into film. He's got a bunch of little film cameras. He's got a Voigtland, he's got a Rolly, he's got everything, basically. So he was already shooting, and he kind of influenced me to get more back into shooting 35mm. So it was a really cool kind of thing. Yeah, I've got my film camera, I'm bringing 6 rolls of film, and let's just let loose. Now at this point, I was new into kind of shooting again. And when I got the film back from the lab, they said you've kind of ripped it out of the canister, because every time I shot, I don't know, it was 36, I tried to pull it again to try and get the most out of the film. That's a big no-no, so don't ever, when you get to 36, or maybe stop at 34, or even lower, just so you know you're not going to ruin your film. None of the films are lost, which is good. All 6, I did shoot 6, yeah. We were there for 7 days, but I shot 6 rolls. I think it was 6 days, 7 nights, or whatever it was. Yeah, none of the film was lost. I got pretty much around 30 exposures in every single roll that I shot, so not bad going for kind of diving into this subject again. I was just really excited from going out shooting. I mean, it must have we were out every day. We were doing a lot of things, and the good thing about Italy was it's such a diverse kind of country. You've got street, you've got rivers, you've got so many different types of architecture, different vehicles over in the UK and stuff. Everything looks very different over there. So it was awesome to kind of capture it firsthand. I've been to Milan before, but that when I was really young. So the idea was to go to Florence. It was just amazing, really. So there's a lot of street photography in this. And then the last day we went to Cinque Terre, which is on the Italian coast. I'm going to dive into some Cinestill here, 800T, which is kind of a very highly regarded, expensive film, which has a very distinctive look to it. Some people don't actually like it, but I really love it. It's quite hard to shoot with, getting exposure right and everything, and very hard. Well, I've been told it's quite hard to develop. If you develop it wrong, you're gonna get splodges all over your film, apparently, which I'm yet to kind of experience if I do go into developing myself. Cinestill 800T. T stands for tungsten lighting, so it gives the cool effect under bright lights and stuff. And it's basically made from Kodak motion picture film, and it's stripped back off the anti-halation kind of layer on the film. So if you take that off, you get these awesome kind of what they call halations on the lights, these kind of bulbous, orangey, reddy tones bouncing off the lights and around the kind of bulbs. It looks really cool, obviously shooting at night. But the thing was with this, we went out at night and I didn't finish my roll, and that was the day before we went to Cinque Terre on the coast. So I ended up shooting 800T in the day, the bright sun out on the coast. And it actually, first time shooting it, for me, I think it was the first time shooting it, yeah, it actually did pretty well, and it gave some really cool effects. But first of all, let me show you some standard normal Cinestill 800T photos, which you would expect from this roll. As you can see, with stuff like this, I haven't really exposed it properly. Bear in mind, obviously I'm first shooting it, but you can see the halations on the lights here, which look really awesome. I love that look. Gives that kind of, cinema look. This is one of the clouds. it does work in kind of soft light sunset kind of pictures, which that was taken in. This one is another example of the elation. Proper cinematic look. This is a cool shot actually with my brother. I love how the light hits his side of the face on this side here. You get the nice colours in the background from the lights. Obviously these aren't going to be award-winning photos, but it's just, again, getting that feel for film is just really, really nice. Now it's kind of moaned upon, or kind of there's a bit of a ooh, that if you edit your photos, you're an absolute prick. But the thing is, like, if you go out and shoot a roll of film and the exposure's wrong, and the shadows are off and all this stuff, the only thing I do with the film, this is completely different to digital, by the way. Digital, I would edit the absolute hell out of it. But while I'm editing film, because I've chosen the film stock and I want that specific colour to be, given back to me once being developed and scanned, I want to retain that colour. So if I shoot Ektar or Porta or Cinestill, I'm choosing those film stocks because I want that colour. Now with these two photos, you can see the difference here. It's this one is more shadows, got a vignette. I've boosted the colours a little bit, but I have not changed the colour, the actual colours of the film here. So if I go to develop, all I've done is kind of added a vignette, put in some more fade, and that's pretty much it. I don't do a lot really with the film photos. So before you have a go at me in the comments, it's really just exposure tweaking, shadow tweaking, and maybe adding a little bit of saturation here and there, and that is about it. Because I do, if I'm getting back into shooting film, this is the whole point of choosing Portra 400 or choosing Ektar or even choosing 400H. It's choosing those film stocks that you want those colours to be given back to you. So Rio Magmore, this is the one of the towns we went to. Obviously this is such a terrible photo, but I wanted to get one of the kind of drive-by shots of the sign here. As you can see, it's still got, it still renders the halation on the pole here where the sun is hitting it from the back, which is quite cool. I thought I'd only get that with ambient lighting, actual bulbs, but it does it with the sunlight as well, which is a really cool effect. So as we venture further into the photos, you can see now we have the coast. I was actually really surprised how these came out, because I knew I was shooting 800D at the beach, and it's kind of not really the done thing. You'd rather shoot 50D, which is their daylight film stock. So I knew I was kind of breaking the rules a little bit, but I thought, I don't have another camera to put film in, so I've obviously got to finish this film, and I kind of wanted to expose it right and everything and see how it would come out. And one of the shots that came out of the roll was one of my favourites I took from the trip, which is pretty cool. And it's this one right here. This is such, I don't know, to me it's such an awesome shot, how the composition and the people sitting there, the elation off the sea here, the sparkles of light, the skin tones, the water, everything about this shot is just really cool. On the left hand side here, I could have been better with composition, cutting those people out or whatever. But yeah, this shot really works for me from the trip. I think this sums up the trip for me. First time taking the film camera, shooting a load of rolls. This one was the pinnacle shot here. And you can see on the rocks here, you got the halation coming off here, the reddish kind of orangey tone. You got nice aqua tones along the rocks here. Yeah, I really, really love the shot. And I think I may print it one day, properly and all that stuff. But yeah, there's another one here, Cinestill. You can see the palm trees up here, he's getting that look. I mean, really, if I go to the beach again, would I put Cinestill 800 in the camera? Probably not. Maybe if it was towards sunset, yes. But this was literally the middle of the day, bright sunlight. It was about 32 degrees or whatever. Very hot, harsh light. I mean, if you do want to break the rules a bit, be a little bit wild, yeah, take Cinestill 800 to the to the coast and try it out. I mean, I got one of my favourite shots out of it, so and that's the cool thing with film. You can't, as long as you get the exposure right, and you're going for, you're looking for the colours that you want, make it work. So as mentioned, a lot of street stuff. I shot some Porta 160. This is first of the roll here, which is quite cool. Also, this is another cool thing about film is you get, first of the roll where you got that. I mean, you probably won't use them as as any kind of referring to a good photo, but it's just cool to have that effect where you get the kind of burning effect on the film when you shoot the first frame. I mean, it's kind of standard photography. As I said, was my first time kind of going all in and shooting. So the compositions were just kind of not too special. Just looking at shapes and different architecture and stuff like that. This I really like. This is kind of really Portra colours here. I may have kind of boosted the saturation a little bit. Yeah, I did. But if the colour's there, boost saturation, I mean, it's okay, it's fine. But yeah, you can see the blue and kind of muted tones, but with warmth and stuff. That's really what I really like about Portra. This guy standing in the middle here, he's out of focus, but I think that gives kind of an essence of his character there, looking at everyone else, but he's out of focus and the rest of the people behind him are in focus. I just really like this shot and how it came out. This one is cool as well. There's this old camera shop there. It wasn't open, unfortunately. We've got this nice bike in the tree and Kodak films on the top there. This is Porta 160 at night. Does quite well at night, to be fair. Souvenir shop there. Yeah, I mean, I like this shot as well. A couple sitting there at the edge of kind of the hillside, looking down at this. I can't remember what the building was called. Something. Again, with film, when you're doing kind of street stuff and when you're taking, photos of people in public areas and everything, it's not as kind of in your face as a big digital camera, with a mic on top and stuff like that when you're doing vlogs. So yeah, one camera, one lens. And not intrusive at all, although the shutter is quite loud on the Canon AE1. But other than that, people don't really notice really. Here's another shot I really like over the city of Florence. Here, another cool shot of my brother. As you can tell, I've kind of boosted the saturation here quite a bit, but kind of maintained the colours as well. So let's get on to some Ektar 100. Now, it's quite funny actually because when I got these back, I definitely thought I shot Portra here, either Portra 160 or Portra 400. But it turns out, after looking at my film, the contact sheets of film, that it's actually Ektar 100. And Ektar 100 and Portra 160 are fairly similar, but Ektar 100 is kind of more boosted in the colours regarding saturation. So I'll take you through these. These are awesome. Now, when I said at the start of the video, I said I preferred my film photos to the digital ones. I've just looked at all my edited digital photos, and I only have about 25, not even that, about 20 photos of my digital stuff from here edited. All the rest, you must imagine how many photos I took. Probably about 1,000 photos over the whole trip. I only got 20 photos. Now in this roll, there's 36, and I pretty much posted 80% of the photos in this roll. So if you take 20 photos out of this roll, compared to the 20 digital photos I shot out of 1,000, do you know what I mean? In the first video I put out on the channel the other day, last week, I said that the film photography, really hunkers you down in being in the moment, capturing good compositions, thinking about every composition, and not just shoot. Oh my god, there's a mountain, there's some boats. Let me take 100 pictures of this, and yeah, I might get one out of it. That's fine because I've taken 100. With film photography, you've got one shot of that composition, and really nailing down where you are in the scene, looking through that viewfinder, and really capturing what you're seeing. The 50mm is known for kind of what you see as your eye anyway. So yeah, it's just such a different experience. And then to say I've got all these photos out of here which I can use, I can post to Instagram, I can print a few out of the 20 digital photos I shot, just makes me think this film camera has kind of brought me back into the feeling of photography, and not just about gear, and not just about shooting 100 million photos and then thinking, oh yeah, obviously there's going to be one in there because I shot so many. And actually, you know, I've got the same out of it from only shooting 36 in a roll and 1,000. So why waste? Imagine if all that time of shooting 1,000 photos, I actually thought about taking this shot when I did holding my film camera compared to the digital one. I would have so many other photos that I could use from this trip, the digital ones. It's just that's just a crazy thought to me. As you can see here, it was very, very busy that day. Load of people on the beach. Just completely, you know, weird looking at it now because obviously we've been through, you know, lockdown and social distancing. To look at this, completely flooded with people. Just a really good vibe when you get in these villages and towns. The culture there is screaming, you know, out of the people. Just such a good vibe there. So this is Ektar 100, and it took me by surprise really because you know, as I said, I thought I shot Porta 160. As you can see, not much of an edit here, just giving it kind of a vignette and, you know, took down the blacks a little bit. But the colours Ektar 100 gives off is really, really awesome. I really like it. Especially the blues as well. I mean, all of these shots I really like. This one I haven't touched this one. And look at the colour of the sea here. Look at how blue that is. Also, the kind of orangey yellow tones of the rock as well. Exposed beautifully, I must say so myself. But yeah, you can see especially in the background here on the horizon, just the deep blue of those colours from Ektar. It's amazing. That is untouched. That's an untouched photo. I know this is straight from the film. This one of my favourite shots as well. Kind of we hiked up this hill and, you know, get a really good look over the town. I think this is Vanaza. I think that's what the town was called. And this one, as I said, there was 5 different ones, or so. I think there's even 7. I don't know. But really cool view over the town there. Last kind of few moments before the sun sets, I took this one. As you can see, it's using the 50mm lens. There wasn't really any lens flare. It's a really good lens that from the 1970s there with the Canon FD lenses. That's what they are. Really good lens. It's quite sharp. But when taking the film, I didn't really care about sharpness, you know, and all those kind of technical things. I just wanted to capture that mood, that feeling. It's just simple as that. Then we get onto this one. Now, as you can tell, I've boosted the colours quite a lot. The original, as in the before, and that's the after. You know, I'm not going to hide what the picture looks before because, you know, I'm here to be honest. You know what I mean? This was literally just saturation boost, and some literally just punching the black, putting more blacks in it. If you do take down the exposure and heighten the contrast, it will actually give you a bit more saturation as well. It just heightens those colours a little bit more. But in this, basically, all I did was, you know, darken it and give it more saturation. You still have that kind of film look. You still have, you know, the colours are there as well. So it's not that, you know, it's just, I kind of wanted it a bit underexposed to get this nice silhouette of the railings in the front here. So, you know, not a big deal of editing really. I mean, I can go in here and sharpen the hell out of it. I can put flipping, you know, lens flares coming down from the top. I can do all sorts of things. It's literally just exposure tweaks and saturation. That's basically it. Right. So let me just show you some of my digital shots. This shot I really love because you've got that striking line of the shadow, and then you've got the kind of light on her face while riding the bike, and the light in the back of the frame as well on the building. Possibly one of my favourite shots as well because you can see the plus sign of the pharmacy or whatever on top of her head, so it makes it look like a Sim character or something like that. But it's such a different, I mean, this was probably edited the hell out of. If I do find the original somewhere, I'll pop it up and, you know, give you a look on that, but it's probably really, really, really highly edited. Here's another one. You can see that huge big vignette I've put on it. I've brightened the centre and stuff like that. But then again, compared to this, to the other film shot, completely different vibe. As you can tell, my editing was a bit moody back then. So this is the one of one of the towns, one of the villages. I like the shot. I've kind kind of punch too much blue into, when you're editing digital photos, the thing is you get too carried away with the edit. I've put way too much split toning in here because I've brought down some yellow in the highlights and I've pushed some blue into the shadows, and all that kind of stuff, and I've desaturated the photo as well and heightened the orange. The film one of this gives such a better impression of the place rather than this digital photo. And then there's a choice there between whether to go with your style of editing, so you can go somewhere sunny, but if your editing is kind of dark and grungy and moody, when you're taking pictures in a bright area, do you give the impression that you are in a bright area, or do you maintain your style? And I think now my photography has grown into kind of capturing the place as it is and doing not so much to it, and just thinking about good composition, good exposure and stuff like that. The film photos I got from this place are just screaming out culture. You can see it, you can see the brights, you can see beach vibes actually, you can see Italy as it is. And here's another one from the top. I mean, desaturated, I've pulled up the shadows from the bottom there, and I've kind of brightened the highlights as well. I mean, my editing style has changed. This was from 2 years ago, obviously. But yeah, you can tell from this, it's like it rained, but it was literally the nicest day, not a cloud in the sky, and it was really, sun beating down. It was a beach vibe. This doesn't give a beach vibe. Probably one of my favourite shots digitally was this one. At night, I mean, I rendered the colours pretty well in here. Pretty similar to the scene actually it was, and just the kind of motion of the waves and stuff. I really like this shot from the digital ones. Right guys, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that kind of little insight into my film photography versus my digital photography, but mainly just focus on the film and an insight of what I took from my trip from Italy. So yeah, I don't know whether you guys are going to be interested in this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just me basically just showcasing my photography and my journey throughout my photographing kind of career life, if you want to call it. It's not kind of any tutorial I'm doing, it's just basically having a chat really. I'm going through some photos. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Just to show you another shot here of the Cinestill 800T, first of the roll here, you can see how amazing that kind of burn-in is, and it actually looks like fire. Actual flames going up the building there, which is quite, it's unpredictable, the first roll. Not the first roll, the first image of the first roll. It's quite unpredictable, and that is always kind of a cool thing to, you kind of forget when you get your rolls back, and you get your scans back and you think, oh yeah, I'm just going to get 36 photos, but then you see this start of the roll shot, which has kind of got the burn in, which is a cool surprise. Another thing I want to mention, if you do want to get into film and everything, do keep your negatives. As I said, partway through this, I actually got mixed up with what I shot, and if I didn't have my rolls with me, because it says the film on the roll, with what you're shooting, I wouldn't have a clue what it was, as in the Porta 160 against the Ektar 100. Also a good idea to keep these if you ever want to scan yourself, or if you want to ever get them printed as well. So always retain your negatives. Just a little tip. Yeah, so guys, hope you enjoyed today. I'll be back next week with another video. Cool, awesome. Thanks for watching.